Yo yo yo, this is Sol, also known as Spiel Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist team's called Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. Well guys, I have finally finished this presentation. March Sync Pairs Who to Scout For. I have been working non-stop since yesterday, and it was so hard to do this video. I tried to go as in-depth as I could. This is much more in-depth compared to all my previous Who to Scout For videos. So I would appreciate it if you guys give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And you know what? Let's get into the details. A lot of you guys are arguing actually in my Discord server as to who's better, Signusuit Red or Leon or whoever, or do I have to scout for this? I hope this will help you decide who you are going to scout for. I would be discussing everyone, including their potential good stuff in their sync grid, and compare them to other sync pairs that are available in the game, and you decide for yourselves. Anyway, this is the schedule we have right now. So Leon and Charizard and Marnie and Morpeko will appear tomorrow. This is Western time, and I live in Asia, so the date is like +1. So they will appear on February 26th and will end, or their last day is March 17th. So, less than 1 month to scout for Leon and Charizard or Marnie and Morpeko. Meanwhile, Gloria and Zacian will have a rerun on March 4 and end on the same date as Leon and Marnie. Iris Champion or Champion Iris and Hydreigon will be appearing on the day after these guys disappear. So basically, March 18, they will appear. Wait, give me a sec. Yeah. Yes, March 18, Iris will be coming on March 18. And Diantha, was it Diantha or Diantha? I'll just say Diantha. Diantha and Gardevoir will be appearing on March 31. So we have a little bit of time before Diantha comes out. But Leon and Marnie are coming tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys. So, as you can see over there, these are also the event schedule. And just in case you're wondering how many gems we will be getting, I made a video about that. Check out the links in the description. And with that said, let's go straight to the topic, guys. This is Leon and Charizard. Now, I made these fake screenshots, which try to look as authentic as possible, and there you go, guys. Leon and Charizard appearing tomorrow, and he has the moves Hurricane, Earthquake, Inferno, and Strike a Pose. Hurricane has a chance of confusing the opponent. Earthquake is hits everyone ground type move. Inferno, 50% accuracy, instant burn, slightly stronger than Blast Burn if I'm not mistaken. And Strike a Pose basically raises or reduces the user's sync move countdown by 1. Sharply raises the user's attack and special attack, raises the user's critical hit rate, and applies the free move next to the user, lowers the user's defense and special defense. So 5 things at the same time. Sync move countdown -1, attack and special attack +2, critical hit rate +1, free move next to you, basically similar to Palantine Serena, Sugar Rush, I think, and then special defense and defense -1. Inferno lives the target burned, and you know what? Because he has Piercing Gaze as his passive skill, basically every single move will hit the opponent. Moves will never miss. Even if the opponent's evasiveness is at +6, your accuracy is -6, he will never ever miss. Unless the opponent has some sort of like obstruct or something, which will also hit the enemy, but the enemy will not be damaged or something like that. He also has a master passive skill called Galar Flag Bearer. which powers up the moves of all allied sync pairs by 10%. Reduces attack move damage taken by all allied sync pairs by 20%, and they will increase depending on how many Galar team members you have on your team. So basically, just having Leon alone in your team, everyone's attack damage increases by 10%, and everyone will receive 20% less damage just by having Leon in your team. Now, if you have any other Galar team member like Marnie or Pierce or Gloria, per member, you will have a 10% more increase in damage and a 3% more decrease in receiving damage. I don't think the damage you receive includes sync moves. It's only normal moves, if I'm not mistaken, guys. And the maximum, so if you have 3 Galar team members, your power up is 30% more damage, and you will receive 26% less damage. So that's a very, very nice OP passive skill, and I'm expecting that later on we'll be having like Kanto, Flag Bearer, probably each one per region. So probably expecting something like that in the future. Now, MP Rekindle 2 has a chance of restoring 1 MP for your moves when a move is successful. So basically, if you use Inferno, if you use Hurricane, if you use Earthquake, there's a chance of bringing back Strike a Pose, which again, if you need a refresher, Strike a Pose increases attack and special attack by 2, increases critical hit rate by 1, decreases your defense and special defense minus 1, free move next, and sync move countdown minus 1. And then Super Preparation 4, guys, has a good chance of applying super effective move next. So basically, after you use any move, there's a chance that super effective move next, that status will apply to you. And if the enemy is weak to ground type and use Earthquake, it will deal a lot more damage. If the opponent is weak to fire type, Inferno will deal a lot more damage. And if the enemy is weak to flying type, Hurricane will deal a lot more damage. If the enemy is also weak to fire type, I think super effective move next applies to sync moves, and that will make your sync move deal a lot more damage. So champion time, Fire Blast, I do not think that it does anything. It has a multiplier or anything like that. I don't think there's anything like that. And guys, you do not Gigantamax. There's no Dynamax, there's no Gigantamax as of the moment. So it's just a normal sync move. It's just a normal sync move. Now, her stats are kind of high, to 684 HP, 424 attack, 143 defense, 424 special attack, 143 special defense, and 318 speed. We will compare his stats later with Signasu Thread, but this is pretty high. Defense and special defense slightly low, but do not forget about his passive skill, Galar Flag Bearer, which increases attack and special attack around 20%. And defense and special defense by 20%. Something like that. Now, his passive, his sync move or sync grid, at 1 out of 5, he gets burst in, ensures that the user's next attack or the first attack of Leon will be a critical hit once he enters the battle. At 2 out of 5, he can unlock Rejuvenate 6, which every time you use a sync move, your move gauge immediately fills up to full. And at 3 out of 5, he unlocks a lot of multipliers and a lot of stuff. So Burn Synergy 3 powers up moves when the target is burned. So basically, if the enemy is probably weak to ground type, and you want to make Earthquake deal a lot more damage, use Inferno first on everyone, and then use Earthquake, and Burn Synergy will make your Earthquake hit a lot harder. Fast Track 2 has a moderate chance of raising the Pokemon speed after it uses a move. Healthy Super Hit is basically an instant... How do I remove this error? Where is Ignore? Anyway, basically this is super preparation for at the very start of the battle. So immediately at the start of the battle, you have their super effective move next when you enter with full HP. Scorching Sync 5 is basically similar to Burn Synergy or Burn Synergy 5 when you use a sync move. So if the target is burned and you use a sync move, it deals a lot more damage. Stat Reboot 9, once per battle when your HP is low, your lowered stats return back to normal. So if you keep using Strike a pose, your defense and special defense might go down, and if Stat Reboot works, your stats go back to normal. Sync Burst restores 1 HP for the user when a sync move is used for the first time. So basically bringing back Strike a Pose, but he has MP Rekindle too, which I believe you don't need Sync Burst 1 because you have MP Rekindle 2, which has a chance of already bringing back your MP. And by the way, Sync Burst 1 only activates once the first time you use a sync move. So I think you can totally ignore this. And then there's Sync Stat Reboot 3, which perhaps is a better version of Sync or Stat Reboot 9. Has a moderately good chance of returning his lowered stats to normal when you use a sync move. So every time you use a sync move, there's a chance of bringing back all lowered stats to normal. Now he has 2 sync nuke tiles to power up his sync move plus 25. So if you get them both, it's plus 50 with his sync move. And with that said, we are done with Leon and Charizard for now. He has 2 multipliers, as you can see over here. He has Burn Synergy 3, which powers up, or rather, 3 multipliers. Burn Synergy 3, which powers up moves when the target is burned. Health Scorching Sync 5, which powers up sync moves when the target is burned. And then there is the Healthy Super Hit and Super Preparation 4, which will apply the super effective move next to the user if you land a hit on anyone who is weak to whatever type of attack you use it to. And with that said, we are done with Leon and Charizard. Let us move on to Marnie and Morpeko, also coming tomorrow. Marnie and Morpeko ends on the same day as Leon and Charizard, and then she has quite some interesting moves. She has Thundershock, Aura Wheel, Power Trip, and Snack Time. Thundershock, Pikachu has Thundershock. Aura Wheel changes type depending on what form you are. It could be electric type, or it could be dark type. Power Trip is some sort of like stored power. The higher your stats are, the stronger your damage is. Let me just clarify that I'm saying everything correctly before. The more the user's stats are raised, the greater the power of this move. So basically, this is a physical attack version of stored power. Stored power is a special attack. Power Trip is a physical attack. So, Snack Time and Snack Time raises the user's attack. If the user's speed has been raised, also raises the user's attack by the same amount. When the user is in full belly mode, makes the user gradually heal itself. And when the user is in hangry mode, it raises the user's critical hit rate. Now again, Aura Wheel, when the user is in full belly mode, as you can see over here, this is full belly mode. When the user is in this mode, Aura Wheel is electric type. When the user switches to Hangry mode, as you can see over here, this purple thing, Aura Wheel is dark type. So if Marnie or Morpeko is in full belly mode, Snack Time will have a regen effect. And if the user, so regen effect for this one if you use Snack Time, and if you use this one, if you use Snack Time when it's Hangry mode, critical hit rate goes up. Now if your speed has been raised again, also raises attack by the same amount. Is there a way to increase your speed? Let me just check, guys. Thundershock, Power Trip, Aura Wheel. Oh, there it is, guys. Aura Wheel actually raises your speed as well. So Aura Wheel, every time you use it, your speed goes up by 1 level. And Snack Time will increase your attack. For example, you have speed +1 if you use Aura Wheel once. And you use Snack Time, your attack goes up because of Snack Time. And your speed is +1. So you get another +1 in your attack stat because you have +1 speed. Her stats are kind of okay. For attack sync pair, 620 HP, 338 attack and special attack. 170 defense, quite low again. Let me just compare this to Leon right now. 143 versus 170, quite higher. And very high speed, guys. Very high speed. Hangry Wild Charge, as you can see over here. When the user is in Hangry mode, the user changes to full belly mode. This move's power increases if the target is paralyzed. And then, as you can see over here in her sync grid, 1 out of 5 unlocks haste and life. Speed cannot be lowered, prevents the Pokemon from getting paralyzed. 2 out of 5 unlocks Snack Time MP Refresh 2, Speedy Entry 1, and Thundershock Staggering 2. This is interesting because Thundershock has a chance of making the opponent flinch. And if I'm not mistaken, the only one right now, no, probably not the only one, because the two sync pairs that can make the opponent flinch using a 1 move gauge move is Skyla with Gust, staggering 1 or staggering 2 depending on how many grid tiles you give her. And then there is Plumeria, as you can see over here. Smog also can make the opponent flinch, but Smog's accuracy is kind of low, and Thundershock's accuracy is 100, and Thundershock immediately gets staggering 2 and not staggering 1. So once you use Thundershock, there's a chance for the opponent to flinch. Now, Aura Wheel ramming speed, the more the user's speed has been raised, the stronger Aura Wheel is. Inertia, the higher your speed is, the stronger your sync moves become. MP Rekindle 2 is similar to Leon's MP Rekindle 2. Has a moderate chance of restoring Snack Time when you use a move. And then Snack Time Propulsion, for every time you use Snack Time, there is quite a good chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1. And again, another one of Leon's passive skills, Snack Time Super Preparation 4. This only applies to Snack Time. So if you use Snack Time, there's a good chance of applying the super effective move next when you use Snack Time. 40% chance of making your moves hit harder when the opponent is either electric type or dark type. She also has a sync move multiplier called Static Shock 3. Powers up sync moves when the target is paralyzed. And again, Hangry Wild Charge already is a multiplier by its own. It's a built-in. If the opponent is paralyzed, your sync move hits harder. This plus Static Shock 3 makes your sync move hit a lot more harder. And then there's Hangry Wild Charge power plus 50 if you get 2 sync nuke tiles together. So that's it, guys. These are her passive skills. Hunger Switch every time you use a move, let me just clarify that I'm saying it correctly once again. Every time you use a move, you swap forms. You swap between full belly mode and hangry mode every time you use a move. I'm not sure if snack time is included. I don't think so. It's just Thunder Shock, Power Trip, Aura Wheel. So every time you use it, you keep switching between hangry mode and full belly mode. Mode swing. When the user is in full belly mode, that is this yellow one, your electric type attacks get powered up. When the user, or when Morpeko is in this purple mode, your dark type moves get powered up. So, a bit interesting on how to use this guy. It will be interesting and it will be a bit tough probably to use this, especially with enemies that have one weakness only. If for example, the enemy is just weak to electric and you keep switching between dark and electric type, it will be a bit tricky, but it will be interesting. And then Hostile Environment 5 has quite a nice chance of making the opponent paralyzed when you use Thunder Shock. So Thunder Shock has a very low chance of making the opponent paralyzed. With Hostile Environment 5, that chance goes up by a lot. And again, Power Trip, as you can see over here, the strong, or rather, Power Trip, I think, is a 2-move gauge move. It starts actually a bit weaker than Thunder Shock, but the higher your stats are, the stronger your damage. Now, alone with just Morpeko and Marnie, your attack and speed will only go up, but with the help of other sync pairs to increase your stats, Power Trip has a potential to be devastatingly strong. Yeah, very strong. Again, Morpeko is coming out tomorrow, so if you are gonna scout for Marnie and Morpeko, good luck! If you're not, I'd rather you scout for Leon instead. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Iris, Champion, and Hydreigon. So I was actually wondering before how the Champion Iris will be introduced, and I guess this is a brand new way of introducing Iris parenthesis Champion. So will there be something like a Gloria Champion or whatsoever Champion, or I don't know what will happen next time, but interesting. There's a brand new breed of trainer or something like that. Anyway, this sync pair is quite interesting in the sense that this is a pure tech sync pair. It's pure debuff, guys. Breaking Swipe, actually, every time you use Breaking Swipe, the opponents, every single opponent, by the way, will get hit. It's a physical attack, and every single opponent will have their attack stat lowered. Snarl is a special attack and will hit everyone as well, and their special attack will get lowered. And you know what? She has quite an OP passive skill called Double Drop. So instead of just lowering one attack or one special attack, it lowers attack -2 and special attack -2 every time she uses Breaking Swipe and Snarl. So this is actually a much better, if I were to say my opinion, this is a better Mallow. Oof, and I really like Mallow too. Drop Kick has Drop Kick, if I forgot, is it Overwhelm or something? Drop Kick can lower the opponent's stat, and in her Synchred, she has something that will lower the opponent's attack stat as well. So every time you use Drop Kick, attack -2. But with Iris's passive skill, not only will Breaking Swipe lower everyone's attack -2, everyone actually gets hit, not just one opponent. Snarl, special attack -2. Dragon Rush, as you can see over here, has a small chance of making the opponent flinch. 75% accuracy. And then 3 Heads makes move gauges on the allied field of play accelerate. So makes your move gauge faster, reduces your sync move countdown by 1, your attack stat goes up by 2 levels, and your critical hit rate goes up by 1 level. Quite nice 3 heads. Triple threat Dragon Rush, the more the opponent's stats have been lowered, the stronger your sync move becomes. So with Iris, you can lower the opponent's special attack and attack stat. Just 3 uses of Breaking Swipe, 3 uses of Snarl, and the everyone's attack and special attack is already -6. And with Triple Threat Dragon Rush, strong damage. If you have anyone else, if you probably pair her up with Palatine's Dawn, Palatine's Serena, to lower the opponent's stats even more, oh my goodness, this will be strong. She will be very, very strong. Even, including her passives, her sync grid skills, which we will be discussing later. Piercing Gaze again every single move will never miss. Power Loving, the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger your attacks become. So, basically, Breaking Swipe, Snarl, and Dragon Rush will be stronger in damage with Power Loving. And now, at 1 out of 5, she doesn't exactly unlock anything interesting enough. At 2 out of 5, she gets Beef Up 3, has a moderate chance or moderately good chance of raising your attack when you are hit. Snarl, super duper effective 2, powers up your Snarl. 3 heads, Emperor Refresh 2, very typical. At move level 3 out of 5, she gets Critical Strike 1 in Breaking Swipe. Devastation, the stronger, or the lower the opponent's special attack is, the stronger your sync move is. Ground Guard, when you are hit by a ground move, it's slightly weaker. Pecking Order, the more the opponent's attack stat is down, the stronger your sync move is. And 3 heads all ramp up 1. Basically, if you use 3 heads, everyone's special attack goes up when you use 3 heads. Okay, now, again, I forgot if I mentioned this already, but her sync move is actually has a multiplier built in. So when you use her sync move, the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger her sync move is. This plus Devastation, the more the target's special attack has been lowered, the stronger your sync move is. Plus Pecking Order, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger your sync move becomes. So that is a triple multiplier, guys. Triple threat! Devastation and Pecking Order together. And don't forget, she is a tech sync pair. So if you make her 6-star EX, your sync move damage will be multiplied by 1.5. And she will become very, very, very insanely strong. Her attack stat and special attack stat is quite high, so she will definitely deal a lot of damage. So, very good sync pair, very interesting sync pair, and very nice to lower the opponent's attack and special attack stats with. Basically, before, my favorite sync pair to debuff the opponent was Janine. So, poison the opponent first, and then use Venom Drench to lower the opponent's attack, special attack, and speed stats. But with Iris, I think I can just have Iris together with Palatine's Serena to lower the opponent's attack, special attack, and speed stats. Every time I use it, it's -2 instead of -1. So, a better combination, I think. And then, with Iris using her sync move, the multipliers go into effect. Super strong damage. Okay, guys, we're done with Iris. Let's go to Gloria. Gloria, this is a rerun, so I'm just going to breeze through this. Gloria is a Steel-type sync pair. with a fairy type attack, play rough. Attack stat is quite high. Special attack not so high because you don't even need special attack anyway. And then laser sharp focus, I think, reduces your sync move countdown by 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not reviewing right now. I'm just saying whatever is on my memory. And I think makes your next move a critical hit or something like that. Move gauge boost, very typical, just fills up your move gauge. Behemoth Blade, if the opponent has a sync buff, it becomes stronger. Same thing for her sync move, Glorious Behemoth Blade. Play Rough is a physical fairy type move. And her passive skills, Fierce Entry 2, Attack plus 2, I think, once you enter the battle. Move gauge refresh 4 every time you use a move. There's a chance that your move gauge fills up. Sync Burst 1, when you use a sync move for the first time, Laser Sharp Focus and Move Gauge Boost replenishes 1 MP. If I'm correct, if everything I said is correct. At 1 out of 5, she doesn't unlock anything interesting. At 2 out of 5, she gets Critical Ferocity 2, has a moderate chance of raising the user's attack when you land a critical hit. Unfortunately, again, the only way to increase her critical hit rate is Laser Sharp Focus, which is not permanent. It just makes your next attack critical hit, but it's only the next attack. Laser Sharp Focus, MP Refresh 1, only 10% though, so very small, has a small chance, or rather, I'm not sure if this is 10% or 20%, but it only has a small chance of restoring 1 MP for Laser Sharp Focus. Play Rough on a roll 2 raises the chance of lowering whatever stat Play Rough lowers down. I forgot if it is special attack or special defense that it lowers down, or something else. Play Rough, super duper effective, powers up your Play Rough. If the opponent is weak to fairy type moves, Play Rough deals a little bit more damage. At 3 out of 5, she gets Adrenaline 1. First time using a sync move, your sync move countdown goes down by 1. Bursts in, first attack will be a critical hit. Head Start 1, your sync move countdown goes down by 1 immediately at the start of the battle. Headstrong, your attack cannot be lowered. In Glorious Behemoth Blade, power plus 25. 2 sync nuke tiles. Nothing much, except I really like using Gloria in Legendary Arena if my team gets killed by the opponent, because Gloria's attacks get a lot more powerful. That aside, Gloria... I had quite some bad memories of Gloria because of the Prestige event, and no sync move multiplier for Gloria. No multipliers for Gloria, except that her move and sync move becomes more powerful when the opponent has a sync buff. That aside, nothing very interesting with her. And you know, move gauge boost is just a very meh trainer move. I'd rather she have another stronger move instead. But yeah, that's Gloria, guys. She's coming back on March 4, ends on the same date as Marnie and Leon. And if you want a steel type striker, then by all means probably scout for Gloria. But as a fairy type striker, I have a comparison later for you guys. And with that said, we come to is this the last sync pair out of everyone? Let me just check. Yep, she's the last. Diantha and Gardevoir. This has been a super long awaited sync pair. And she's out. Some people have been complaining about her kit, that it's trash and everything. For me, it's not that bad. It's strange though. Dazzling Gleam hits everyone. Moonblast hits one opponent, has a chance of lowering the target's special attack, if I'm not mistaken. Dazzling Gleam, 50 power. Moonblast, 98 power, has a moderate chance of lowering the target's special attack. Dire Hit Plus, typical, increases your critical hit rate by 2 levels. Time to Shine, sharply raises the user's special attack and special defense. If used by Mega Gardevoir, also charges the user's move gauge by 3. Now, once you use Master Thespian Moonblast, you Mega Evolve. You Mega Evolve into Mega Gardevoir. But let's talk about that later. Let's talk about her passive skills first, which is kind of weird and interesting. Hit the Gas 5. Hit the Gas 5 basically makes every single attack of Diantha +1 move gauge. So Dazzling Gleam, instead of 2 move gauge, becomes 3 move gauge move. Moonblast, instead of 3 move gauge move, becomes a 4 move gauge attack. And there's no way of disabling Hit the Gas 5. It's active immediately. And I am confused as heck. Yes, it will power up your attacks by probably around 50% stronger. But at the same time, do we want to sacrifice a move gauge, the speed of us dealing attacks with power? That's basically what Hit the Gas 5 does. Increases the move gauge required of all the attacks by 1 for Diantha and makes your attacks hit harder. Propulsion 1, every time you attack, there's a chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1. Mutually assured, if you get hit by a status condition, asleep, poison, paralyzed, frozen, whatsoever, the opponent also gets affected by the same status condition, which is not that great. But when she Mega Evolves, Mutually Assured changes to Fairy Power 5, which powers up her her Fairy type attacks, which is basically Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam, by around 50%. I don't think Fairy Power 5 applies to sync moves, but I might be wrong. And her special attack goes up to 444, much more powerful. Special defense goes up a little bit more, but her defense and special defense is actually quite low. HP average, attack you don't need attack stat, and speed kind of average as well. But her sync grid is actually interesting. At 1 out of 5, she gets Dauntless. Special attack cannot be lowered. Dire Hit plus MP Refresh. You do not need this. Quick Cure removes Confused, Flinching, and Trap conditions once during battle. And then at move level 2 out of 5, Time to Shine gets an MP Refresh. And she gets 2 Sync Nuke tiles for Master Thespian Moonblast. At 3 out of 5, Dazzling Gleam gets super duper effective 1. Makes Dazzling Gleam hit a bit harder when the opponent is weak to Fairy type moves. She gets a sync move multiplier, Devastation. The more the opponent's sync special attack has been lowered, the stronger your sync moves become. Double Down 2, if the opponent is weak to Fairy type moves, it's another multiplier. Your special, or rather your sync move, gets more powerful. Head Start 1 reduces sync move countdown by 1 at the start of the battle. Time to Shine, Fleet Feet 1, raises your speed when you enter the battle. Or rather, not when you enter the battle. When you use Time to Shine, your speed goes up by 1. And then she gets 4 more Sync Nuke tiles. Basically, she's a Sync Nuker. 6 Sync Nuke tiles, making your sync move 150 power increase. 150 power increase. Again, Hit the Gas 5 makes your attacks more powerful. Just attacks, not sync moves. But at the expense of increasing 1 move gauge required for the moves that you're using. Fairy Power 5 increases the damage of Fairy type moves. Devastation The more the opponent's special attack has been lowered, your sync move gets more powerful. Double down Sue, your sync move gets more powerful if the opponent is weak to fairy type moves. And then she gets 6 sync nuke tiles, and then again Dazzling Gleam, super duper effective 1, increases the Dazzling Gleam damage a little bit when the opponent is weak to fairy type moves. So what do I think about this sync pair? Interesting sync pair. Do I want to 6-star EX this sync pair? Well, here's the thing, guys. Diantha is the very first fairy type striker that has a 6-star EX unlocked. We have Palantine Serena, who is a tech sync pair but also works as a striker, and she has her multipliers as well. So it's interesting how to classify Diantha, and I know you guys have a lot of questions, and I will be answering them in a later bit in this video when we tackle comparisons with other sync pairs. But in the meantime, we're done talking about everyone's kits, and I'm not talking about Palkia or Cyrus or Hilbert's grids, the new grids. I'm not talking about those. I'm just talking about the new sync pairs that will be scoutable and Gloria. So right now, you might have a question. How does everyone's stats compare with one another? And here we go, guys. Leon, Marnie, Champion Iris, Gloria, and Diantha. As on a first look basis, Leon has the highest HP and attack stat with the lowest defense and special defense stats. Our speed is quite high at 318, special attack quite high as well, but Diantha is actually more powerful in terms of special attack when she mega evolves. Marnie, on the other hand, is quite balanced. Every stat is at the center. Nothing super impressive. Very high speed, but Gloria is much faster than Marnie. And then Iris has the highest defense and special defense out of everyone. Probably because she is a tech sync pair, but Marnie is actually a tech sync pair as well. But Champion Iris, 635 HP, 392 attack, 186 defense, 392 special attack, special defense 186, 269 speed. So Champion Iris is actually has much higher stats compared to Marnie, but Marnie has much higher speed. So Champion Iris outclasses Marnie in every single stat except speed. Gloria, on the other hand, has the lowest HP at 575. Attack stat is at 401. Defense and special defense at 166. She also has the lowest special attack, which doesn't really matter because she is a physical striker. And she has the highest speed at 405 because, well, her attacks is a 4-move gauge move and a 3-move gauge move. And she has a lot of move gauge refresh, which makes her quite fast as well. And now we have Diantha with 662 HP. Attack very low, 212. That's because she doesn't use any physical attacks at all. Defense and special defense quite low at 177 and 157. Let me just check that I have corrected the 157. Yep. Very low defense and special defense, but Leon is much lower. Special attack quite high, and she has the lowest speed out of everyone. So if you look at these charts over here, Leon, very nice, but take note of his defenses, guys. So Leon's defense is not the best, but let's not forget that Leon actually has a passive skill or master passive skill called Galar Flag Bearer, which increases his attack or everyone's attack by 10%, and increases everyone's defenses by 20%. I'll be talking about that later, but in the meantime, people have been comparing Leon a lot, especially to Signature Red, thinking, who is better? Signature Red, Leon? No, Signature Red is better. No, Leon is better. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? I have done the comparisons for you. Here is Leon with our best physical and special strikers, guys. So Leon, as you can see over here, 684. Signature Red, a little bit higher in HP, 696. By the way, these are 5-star stats at level 130. Attack stat, Lusamine is the highest at 488. But if you make them 6-star EX, Steven gets a higher attack stat than Lusamine at 6-star EX. I have them both at 6-star EX, but Steven actually gets a higher attack stat at 6-star EX at Mega Metagross compared to Lusamine 6-star EX for some reason. And then special attack, Lusamine has the highest special attack, but again at 6-star EX, I think Blue has a higher special attack stat than Lusamine. Let me just clarify and check if my computation is correct. At 6-star EX, Blue's special attack stat is 530. Meanwhile, Lusamine's special attack stat at level 130 is 528. So, again, these are only 5-star stats. The highest speed out of everyone is Lusamine. No questions there. Super, super fast. But she has horrible defenses. She's a complete glass cannon. And if she's hit by a sing move, and if she's not 6-star EX, well, probably say goodbye to Lusamine soon. Steven has the highest defense and special defense out of everyone. He's the tankiest, and with Rejuvenate, was that Rejuvenate 2 or something? What is Steven's? Let me just check, guys. It's called Recuperation, not Rejuvenate. Recuperation 2. Steven can recover and recover and recover and recover and recover. Now, Signature Red, out of everyone here, his stats, only his HP is much higher than everyone. But, you know, Signature Red is powerful, and you know how powerful Signature Red is. And, again, Leon, quite low in defense and special defense, but actually Signature Red is weaker in both fields. But, again, guys, Leon has a passive skill called Galar Flag Bearer, which increases everyone's attack 10%, defense minus, or rather plus 20%. And if we take that into account, this is what it will look like. If roughly, his attack from 424 goes up to 466, his defense goes up from 143 to 172, his special attack goes up to 466 as well, and special defense goes up to 172. So now, he doesn't have the lowest defense. His stats is much better now compared to Signature Red, and his attack and special attack stats are quite comparable now to Signature Red once this passive skill of his triggers. And for a more in-depth comparison, we have here Leon and Signature Red, guys. So I've taken note of their attack move multipliers and their sync move multipliers just to showcase how strong they will become when they use an attack and when they use a sync move. So Signature Red gets power reserves too. When your HP, when you get low on HP, your moves get stronger. Meanwhile, Leon, when the opponent is burned, your attacks hit harder. And again, with Super Preparation 4 and with his Sync Grid, let me just check again. With his Sync Grid, Healthy Super Hit applies the super effective move next to the user. If you have them and you land a critical, or rather a super effective hit on the opponent, it gets stronger. Now, Sync Move Multiplier, he gets Scorching Sand or Scorching Sync 5. If the opponent is burned, your Sync move is stronger. And again, the super effective move next, if that is applied and the opponent is weak to fire, your Sync move hits harder. Meanwhile, Signisutred over here gets Haymaker. The higher your attack stat is, the stronger the damage of your Sync move. And Solar Flare 5, if the weather is sunny, your Sync move gets powered up. So, based on what we're seeing here, super effective plus next doesn't trigger all the time. And Scorching Sync, you basically need to burn the opponent first before you get to trigger this. But attack move multiplier, Leon gets much more compared to Signisutred. And I think, based on this, what do you guys... I don't know what to decide for yourself, but based on this personal opinion, I would give Leon a chance. I would give Leon a chance. Signisutred, you know, has Heat Wave, hits everyone with a Fire type move. Leon only can hit one opponent using his Fire type move, and that is Inferno. But he can hit everyone with a Ground type move. Leon can cover several types, so especially at Battle Villa, he'll be useful because he's not only Fire type, he's also Flying type and Ground type. And Battle Villa has those weaknesses. And you can also bring him to Champion Stadium. He can cover a lot of types. So I would give Leon a chance, and I would basically advise everyone to scout for him. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Let's move on to Iris. Champion Iris. I'm gonna compare her with lots of different dragon types. So there's Champion Iris. There's the original Iris, which have been increased potential to 5 stars. There's Cyrus, gonna be free. There's Lance, available right now. There's Lycia. There's Signisud Cynthia, and there's Zinnia. So, Iris over here, Champion Iris, if you compare it to the normal 5-star Iris, actually every single stat of Champion Iris is better, except for defense. Defense only 2 points lower compared to the 5-star Iris. So Champion Iris is definitely much better compared to the normal Iris in every way possible. They're both dragon type, so there's no question about that. And Champion Iris has the fastest speed out of everyone here. Cyrus has the highest HP out of everyone, with the lowest attack and defense and special defense. But you know, he's free and he gets a Sync Grid right now, so not exactly a lot of complaints there. Lance has quite high stats. He has quite low HP, but not the lowest, with 427 attack and 426 special attack, the highest out of everyone. 167 and 168 special defense and 255 speed. Lycia, on the other hand, has the highest defense and special defense, quite tanky because she's also built as a tanker, and her movesets, her kit actually thrives upon receiving enemy damage. And the lower your HP, the stronger your attacks become. Signisud Cynthia has the lowest HP and speed out of everyone, but for some reason, I like Signisud Cynthia better than Lance. But that's just me, guys, because of Signisud Cynthia's ability to hit everyone with a super strong move in the form of Clanging Scales. And then Zinnia over here, also free sync pair, 526, 363, 142, 363, quite average. And that's basically a basic comparison. But Cyrus and Zinnia, we will be getting them at 5 out of 5, 20 out of 20. By the way, Zinnia's stats over here is a 130 stat. I am aware that you cannot make Zinnia level 130 right now, but just in case she will become level 130 in the future, this is what she will look like if you give 20 out of 20, 5 out of 5. So Cyrus, still with the highest HP, but now much higher. Attack still Cyrus, 309, 174 defense, much better compared to before. Now Signature Cynthia has the lowest defense, 322 special attack, 174 special defense, and 238 speed. Zinnia, on the other hand, her attack stat goes up to 400 something, special attack also goes up to 400 something, and basically that's what the final stats of Zinnia and Cyrus look like. Still, Champion Iris has the highest speed, and yeah, let's compare, Champion Iris with Lance and Signature Cynthia, because those are the dragon type banners that are appearing or that are available right now. So what should you guys scout for? Do you want Champion Iris, or would you prefer Lance or Signature Cynthia who share the same banner? Here you go, guys. Again, multipliers. Champion Iris is actually thrives so much on multipliers. She has Breaking Swipe, Critical Strike 1. Basically, if Breaking Swipe is a critical hit, hits harder. Power Loving, the weaker or the lower the opponent's stats are, your moves do more damage. So that's Breaking Swipe, Snarl, and Dragon Rush. Snarl, super effective too. If the opponent is weak to dark type moves, Snarl does more damage. And then the sync move multiplier, her built-in sync move, I think it's called Triple Threat Dragon Rush or something like that. Triple Threat Dragon Rush, yes, correct. Triple Threat Dragon Rush built-in already has, if the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger your sync move is. Devastation, the lower the opponent's special attack is, the stronger your sync move becomes. Pecking order, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger your sync move becomes. If she is a 6-star EX sync pair, sync move damage multiplied by 1.5. This makes her insanely strong and interesting strong sync pair. Unfortunately, she is a tech sync pair. Fortunately or unfortunately? Unfortunately, because unlike strikers, tech sync pairs can only hit one enemy, but at an increased 1.5 multiplier. As for strikers, they hit everyone without a multiplier. So here's Lance, guys. Lance, unfortunately, does not have an attack move multiplier and does not have a sync move multiplier. I double checked because I do not want to hate on Lance. I'm not hating him, by the way. Just looking at everyone equally, but she doesn't have any attack move multiplier and sync move multiplier. And we have Signature Cynthia with Dragon Breath, Furious Brawn. The higher your attack stat is, the stronger Dragon Breath becomes. And if the opponent is paralyzed, Paralysis Synergy 2 will make every single attack of Signature Cynthia hit harder. So that's Dragon Breath and that's Clanging Skills. Hit harder. She has a sync move multiplier, Static Shock 5. If the opponent is paralyzed, your sync move does more damage. So that's Signature Cynthia. Lance and Signature Cynthia are both striker units. So once you use a sync move, you hit everyone. But that's a basic comparison of their multipliers. And for some sad reason, Lance does not have a multiplier. Now, if he has a multiplier, correct me in the comment section. But I did double check and he does not have any multiplier. But Iris's multipliers are interesting and makes me want to make him or make her 6-star EX. Very interesting sync there. Let's move on, guys, to Fairy. Now we have some time before Diantha comes out. She comes out on the last day of March or last 2 days of March, depending on where you are. Diantha has the highest special attack out of everyone with the lowest attack, but again, you don't need attack stat because all her attacks are special attacks. Defense and special defense a bit on the low side, but she has quite enough HP to cover that. Gloria has the weakest or the lowest HP out of everyone with the highest attack stat because she is a physical striker. The other physical strikers over here, Summer Lyra. I put Sycamore here, by the way, because Sycamore is fairy type as well. Listia is partly dragon type, fairy type, so I also put her here. Listia has the highest special defense out of everyone. And for some reason, aren't you supposed to have the highest defense? I'm not sure. Palentine's Dawn with the lowest attack shared with Diantha. Summer Lyra has the lowest defense, special defense, and speed, but quite high attack. And once Summer Lyra is back, I'm hoping that she actually gets a 6-star EX form. Meanwhile, Sycamore is a support sync pair, not strike, not tech. He's the only support here. And that's basically the stat comparison. So, as you can see over here, Diantha has the second highest HP out of everyone. And I'm just looking at the chart right now. Special attack highest, special defense quite low, and speed in the average, middle ground. But again, with Sycamore, we get an upgrade. We get 5 out of 5, 20 out of 20, increasing his stats. So Sycamore now has the highest HP. He gets the highest defense right now. And highest special defense after the upgrade. And yeah, that's a basic comparison with Sycamore at 20 out of 25 out of 5. And now let us compare the 4 of them. Diantha, Palentine's Dawn, Palentine's Serena, and Summer Lyra. Because people have been saying Serena, Palentine's Serena, or Valerina is better than Diantha. And I did not include Gloria and Listia here just because Listia is mostly Dragon type, Gloria is mostly Steel type. I just want everyone's sync move to be Fairy type. And I did not put Sycamore here because Sycamore is a support and his sync move doesn't do damage. So here we go, guys. Diantha. Dazzling Gleam, super effective 1 or super duper effective 1. If the enemy is weak to Fairy type moves, Dazzling Gleam does a little more damage. Fairy Power 5, again, once she Mega Evolves or once Gardevoir Mega Evolves, your Fairy type moves hit harder. Hit the gas 5, it's a sacrifice. 1 additional move gauge for Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast in exchange of higher damage. For Sync Move Multiplier, she gets Devastation. The lower the opponent's special attack is, the stronger your Sync Move becomes. Double down 2 if the opponent is weak to Fairy type moves. Your Sync Move hits harder. And again, Diantha gets 6 Sync Nuke tiles, making his Sync moves hit stronger and stronger if you pick everything. But I doubt you can pick Devastation and double down in those 6 Sync Nuke tiles. So you have to choose which one you like better. In the meantime, Palentine's Dawn gets Power Loving and Power Posture. Power Loving, the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger your attacks become. Power Posture, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger your attacks become. And the Palentine's Dawn Sync move built in, the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger your Sync move becomes. this is a sync move version of Power Loving. And then we have Palantine Serena over here with honestly so many multipliers. We have Hunter's Instinct. The lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger your damage. Overpower, the lower... Wait, what is overpower? Let me just check. Overpower. Give me a sec. Overpower. Fairy, come on. Palantine Serena. What is overpower? Overpower. The more the opponent's special attack has been lowered, the stronger your attacks become. Okay. Basically, an attack version of Devastation. So the lower the opponent's special attack is, the stronger your attacks become. Paralysis Synergy 5. If the opponent is paralyzed, your moves get stronger. Ramming Speed. The faster you are or the higher your speed is, the stronger your attacks become. Her Sync move multiplier built into her Sync move. If the opponent is paralyzed, your Sync move hits harder. And the faster you are or the higher your speed is, inertia will make your Sync move hit harder. And then for Summer Lyra, Dazzling Gleam Critical Strike 3 basically makes your Dazzling Gleam hit harder. If you compare Diantha with Summer Lyra, I'm sad to see that I would prefer Critical Strike 3 compared to Super Duper Effective 1. Super Duper Effective 1, very little addition of damage. Critical Strike 3, much better. Good Nightmare 5, if the opponent is asleep, powers up your moves. And then her Sync move multiplier, guys, if the opponent is asleep, your Sync move will hit harder. So that's basically Summer Lyra. So if you were to compare these, well, let me just say that Palantine Serena, again, is a tech sync pair. So if you use a sync move on the opponent, it will only hit one opponent. And if she's a 6-star EX, you hit one opponent, the sync move will be multiplied by 1.5. But with her attacks, Hunter's Instinct plus Overpower plus Paralysis Synergy 5 plus Ramming Speed, there is no doubt that Palantine Serena is actually much better in terms of physical attacks. In terms of sync move damage though, Devastation plus Double Down 2 will hit very hard. Especially if, 6-star EX, it will hit everyone. And if you take in several more Sync Nuke tiles, she'll become strong. Super strong. So, if you were to ask me, I would make Diantha 6-star. If you were to ask me, guys, I did not make Palantine Serena or Palantine's Dawn 6-star EX just because I want a Fairy type striker. Personally also, out of the 3 different roles, out of support, strike, and tech, I would rather go for my ranking is strike, support, tech. Tech is the last one for me just because it's only a 1.5 damage multiplier. Support, on the other hand, it only triggers once, the double sync buff. But did you know how huge of a difference a double sync buff will bring to the battle? It's honestly huge. Just using one sync move, using a 6-star EX support, increases everyone's damage by a mile. So I'd rather go for support, so strike first to hit everyone, then support, then tech. But do I want to make Diantha 6-star EX? The answer for me is yes. And if I were to look back, do I want to make Champion Iris a tech sync pair a 6-star EX? The answer is yes. Because she has 3 different multipliers on her sync move. Palantine Serena only gets 2 multipliers on her sync move, built-in paralysis and inertia. Meanwhile, Champion Iris gets devastation, pecking order, and the sync move debuff thing, which is already super awesome, and there's nothing bad I can say about Champion Iris. So that said, we're done, guys. You might ask me, what about Marnie? Now, Marnie is a kind of a bit of a toughie for me to discuss. I'm actually running out of time here, so I really want to elaborate so much on Marnie, but Marnie is coming tomorrow, and I'm planning to go somewhere later, and I'm worried that I will not be able to finish the video on time before you guys go to bed. So what can I say about Marnie? Marnie, she doesn't have a lot of competition. If you don't have N, Marnie is a good option. If you don't have Volkner, Marnie is a good option. If you don't have Clement, Marnie is a good option. Her typing switches from electric to dark is a bit tough to discuss. I want to dedicate a separate video on her, but I'm afraid that I'm out of time and I would not be able to do that. So here's the thing, guys. A lot of people actually like Marnie. I guess that's why Marnie became a Pokefair scout instead of a Spotlight scout. She's not bad. Thundershock, staggering 2, inertia. I mean, she gets a lot of multipliers over here. Multipliers, inertia and static shock are 2 sync move multipliers. Hangry Wild Charge is also a sync move multiplier, so basically 3 sync move multipliers here. Very similar to Champion Iris, but yeah, her sync grid is also interesting. She gets 2 stuffs from Leon, which is very good. And do you want to get her? If you're a fan of Marnie, if you need electric types, go get her. If you need dark types, yeah, I think her power trip will deal a lot of damage. But do you want Marnie compared to Leon? I guess that's the big question, guys. Marnie or Leon, or both? If you have enough gems, go for both. If you have only gems for one sync pair, I would highly recommend you guys to go for Leon instead. Why Leon? Because again, Leon's master passive skill will benefit everyone in your team. So his master passive skill, Galar Flag Bearer, everyone's attack stat goes, or everyone's attacks powered up by 10%, everyone's defense is powered up by 20%. If you have another Galar sync pair in your team, everyone's attack stat 20%, everyone's defense or defenses up by 23%. If you have a full team of Galar team members, everyone's attack stat 30%, everyone's defenses 26%. I don't think there's anything wrong about Leon except his Stick Star EX form, which is ugly. It's so weird. I'm sorry, Leon, but you look like a... People say you look like an orange. And I don't have his photo right now, but he looks strange at 6-star EX. I would rather have Lance. Lance's 6-star EX form is amazing. And with that said, guys, I'm done with this video. Again, if you just fast forwarded, this is the timeline out of everything. Again, add 1 day if you're in Asia. Leon and Charizard and Marnie and Morpeko are coming tomorrow. Gloria is coming back on March 4. Iris is coming on March 18. Diantha is coming on March 31. We have time for Diantha. Time to save up gems. We might get gems on the 1.5 year anniversary. And I think one of you said that we got 3,000 gems last year in Pokemon Day. I really hope we get them. at 3,000 gems or more because 25th year anniversary. And if you will pull for any sync pair, make sure you record your videos and link them to me in the comment section if you want me to react to them. Because I do reaction videos to your sync pair scouts and it's fun. If you want to be featured in my channel, go ahead, link your videos, upload them to YouTube or any other site, and then give the links to me and I'll watch them and react to them. And with that said, we're wrapping up. That's it for this video. I hope you have learned something new about the sync pairs. I hope the comparisons have helped. And I hope you guys have good luck with your sync pair scouts. I will be live trying to pull for Leon, 3 out of 5, and a 1 out of 5 Gloria probably tomorrow. And thank you. I hope you appreciated all the hard work that has come to this video. And give this a thumbs up if you haven't. And hope you subscribe as well if you haven't, because I do this every single month or every single data mine, tackle about every single sync pair. And I tried my best to go into much more detail this month compared to my previous month. So I hope you guys appreciated all the effort. Thank you for watching. And comment your thoughts, comment who you are going to scout for. Good luck with your pulls. And thank you once again to all the members of my channel for supporting me in this pandemic. It's hard, no job, no everything. I'm just doing these videos and I hope you guys are enjoying these videos because this is my life right now. This is my life. Thank you, shout out to Shadow Phil, So Nicholas, More or Less Gaming, Aryan Sync, Blaze, Johnny Dogs, John9019, Treasury Gamers, Gisela2AJ, Roy Ackerman, Love Mats, Luca Midi. And if you want to join them, guys, check out the join button down below my face and check out what's in store. You can support me for as low as $1 if you want. And you will have a Pokeball icon beside your name every time you comment or chat. And get access to Score Bunny icons and lots more. That's it. See you in the next video.